We are live. Welcome everybody to Streams of Spero, the third different chapter from our Streams of Spero cast, as they have been split up, more or less by my hand, to do many things in the realm. I am Benito, your humble DM. These are my other two players, introducing Happy Father's Day to each of them, but starting with my brother, who can introduce himself and who he's playing.
Hello, I'm Rico. I am playing Ju Xiaoyong, the barbarian, who happens to be running around right now with curse armor.
And I can see you're pretty well off your game for a while because your list of your titles is very short. And my good friend Matthew.
First episode. The first episode.
First episode.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I play Alesky, the Protector Azamar. Used to be Warlock, now finds himself afloat without a patron, so no Warlocky powers or abilities.
I know that's
just wandering the land as a trained healer.
It's going to be a rare one for a lot of people to see with a Warlock who doesn't have a patron. So we'll see how that gets into. Okay, let's go refresh our course. Where are we? We'll start first with Ju. Ju, if you recall, you was asked to bring to the northern people of Spero, and that is this town here that we see below, the town city of Fair. That is where the northern people of Spero reside. You have been there in the past. You did not stay very long, hanging out for a little bit, but not doing all too much. You took the NPC Beauregard with you. He was a so-called hero of the past. He apparently knew things of Silk. Some of his knowledge did have some trickle into what was changing the effects of bringing her forth into this world. But regardless, when the heroes all decided to find the stones, break the stones, and release Silk, the goddess, into the realm, she had a Pantheon apparently ready in her hand. One of her apparent closest allies, the Raven Queen, helped murder Hermes when he showed up to warn the heroes that they were starting the God War. With the death of Hermes, the party understood that there was many things they had to address, try to take care of before the realm probably splintered and gods were all over the world doing what the gods were going to do. That sent their most prominent leader, Zindred, to go beg for mercy to Zeus himself and see if the war could actually be stopped. However, Ju and Alesky had many other things they've had to deal with, more darker entities, one with the devilish connections that had plagued upon them as they have campaigned with the group, and now kind of like reestablishing themselves. They are looking to find what they can do to help the realm and the people as best they can. Alesky will return with much more harder path because he has taken the noble route. He feels he has accomplished his duties, used the powers correctly, hoping to be seen by his actual family and be returned back to that mantle so that he may continue to serve the old gods. But we'll know more of that in a little bit. Again, we'll first return to Ju. Ju, you and Beauregard are outside the city of Fair. The town seems to be fine at the moment. You do know that there's a horde brewing somewhere in the northwest. An undead horde by the Lich King that you know your ally seems to be more dressing in Greenwood. Your friend HK is gathering a force to protect it there. That's where it seems like the Lich King is going. But that doesn't necessarily mean Fair is out of complete danger. But also, you're not often too sure exactly how Fair was dealing with rulership. You know there are many tribes there, many chiefs. And I guess we're trying to find your agenda. You wanted to unite the people. So you're out there on the tundra, not too far away from the city. What would you like to do?
First, if you get a chance, can you drop the map of Atlantis into the chat just so I can refresh myself on all our little fun places? I am going to talk with Beauregard and basically explain to him my thoughts. Obviously, Beauregard, you're more familiar with Silk than any of us because of your past history. I assume her character has not changed and her morals have not changed from what you used to know. That being said, I'm kind of on the fence about our past events and how good and how not so good things might be going. Regardless of that, there seems to be a war brewing amongst the gods that I do not want to see overtake the lands and the people. My duty is to the people of Atlanta, of Alanis. So my goal, starting here in Fair, is to try and unite the people, bring the tribes together, get everybody on the same page, and prepare for this war. What direction we take, what side we take, I have not decided yet. It's more of phase one, just getting everybody together and hoping to build an army that can defend. Are you up for that task?
Of course, I'm up to it. Although, your friends seem to be doing something with the Dark Lady that I don't think I have any more influence over now. Isn't it? I mean, her path now or her route is her own, correct?
It seems that way. And my understanding is we accomplished our last task to some degree, stopping Hades. But in doing so, give the chance that what Silk has planned in the long term could be just as devastating or more devastating. Again, I'm not so sure on that end. But I don't want to focus on that task as of yet, like I said. The first task is getting the people united and prepared for what's to come. Because if we can't do that, I don't think it's going to matter what agenda's out there. You know, our group, as strong as it is, needs an army to be able to compete.
Right. I mean, war is what I'm here for. I'm not afraid of any fighting.
Agreed.
So let's go then.
Well, get in this town and see what we can do.
Rico, I'm going to send that map to you through email.
Okay.
It is not pinning to the chat. Okay, so you're going to head to Fair?
We are. And if there's an obvious route to whoever the leader is, we'll take it. If not, we will stop and... Hey, can we ask for directions?
Ask for directions. Yes. Let me kind of get that map to you first. It's not labeled, I don't think. This one is, so...
I've thrown the DM a curveball. That will not hold well for me in the future.
Yeah, well, I was hoping the big place there would be where we could scribble all the stuff like going on. That's where a lot of it's going. All right, now get my notes back up. There are taverns about near the outside of things. There isn't... Yeah. Let me see if there's a town hall. It's also been a minute since I've been in Fair.
My travels have taken me from one end of this land to another. Trying to remember all I have experienced.
All right. Give me an investigation check real quick.
Investigation. 15.
As you enter town, coming up from the road up here, are there any taverns that are close by? Where are the two taverns?
Yes. I have one note on Fair. And it's just the name Fair.
Pretty light on the notes then.
Yeah, you know, I made it to my map. I've done that.
Yeah, this is not really boding too well for you. As you sort of come up from this
so
road...
It's fair to say you're unfamiliar with the town.
Yeah. As you're going up to that, whoops. There are shops and things that are nearby. But you're not seeing anything like a tavern going in. So you kind of like chit-chat with the people on the streets and things. And with the roll of 15, as you're chit-chatting and going in, you sort of kind of realize that there are, for you, an important note that you'll pick up. There are 6 tribes, big tribes, that pretty much lead or hold most of the council within the city.
I have a feeling I am familiar with those tribes.
Okay. Yeah.
I am just checking to see how familiar I might be.
Do you remember the names?
Not off the top of my head, but...
Okay. They are the tribe of the elk.
Elk, bear, ram, snake, raven, and wolf.
You got it.
I remember.
Okay. So, depending on how you want to go about it, you can go to each, like, it will take a bit to kind of go and find each of them, or, you know. Or do you wish to do some other way of making your presence noted with Borka?
We're going to go to the center of town.
Okay. When you do get center of the town, that big triangle one there is indeed the tribe of the elk. Okay. This one right here is apparently a tavern called the Clanking Tankards. Oh, tongue twister myself. And I think you're seeing several temples. So, get all these right here. This one right here is the Temple of Aphrodite. The one back here is the Temple to Zeus.
Friends are going that route.
This one right here is the Temple to Artemis. And right back over there, you can kind of see it tucked in the corner right there, a little bit farther. So right there is the, that apparently is where the main house is to the tribe of the bear. So that's pretty much what's the internal part. The rest are just other people's houses or tribes members' houses.
Does there seem to be else is in the middle there? Is there like any activity? Just open area?
Yeah, it's a big old like pillar there, but there are people. There's like it's a more of a like a pop up, very light market square. It is not as dense as it may have done in the past because of the potential of war. So many
How tall is
of
that pillar?
them, we'll say about 20 feet.
I'm gonna try to scale the pillar.
All right, give me an athletics check.
One button. 18. Thank
Yeah,
God
yeah.
for-
Takes a
Oh,
minute.
wait, hold on. I have that at disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
30. Oh, yeah. So 18.
Oh, geez, you're good. It takes a couple of minutes, but you do find, with just your strength and, effort,
He'll
you
help
get
you
yourself
more,
on.
right?
Yeah, he'll help lift you up there. You get up. I mean, it's a climb. It's 20 feet, so you're up. You're on the top of it now. And
All right.
you start definitely as you're climbing and getting up there. People are beginning to look at you, but apparently other people have done it in the past. It's just like one of those. What is this guy doing?
Has anybody ever done it before?
You don't know.
Ladies, in the loudest voice that I can muster. Ladies and gentlemen of fair. I start clanging on something. Pull my sword out, start banging on the pillar, and
Several of the men go, "No gentlemen here. This is a warrior city."
I am the greatest warrior of these lands. I demand your attention. Gather.
All right,
Beauregard.
you've
Beauregard. Start rounding everybody.
all right. He's trying to kind of slap some people. I mean, people are interested. You have a thrall of about 20-ish, but some people just don't know who. Like, you're not really stopping them from their full day.
Where are your tribal chieftains?
And
Who is in charge?
people start pointing. Several people are pointing to the big triangle place. Others are pointing to where the bear. 3 other people are pointing in different directions somewhere else in the town.
Alright, this is bad. Alright, I'm gonna climb down.
Okay. All right. You can get down.
Alright, Beauregard. There's gotta be an easier way to round up the 7-6 chieftains. There's gotta be a council where they all meet. isn't
Well,
there?
you could go into that one that apparently is of the elk, and as we dominate 1 to 2 to more, then word will get out that that's what you're doing.
Fair enough. Let's go.
All right. You make your way up there. You're met by several elk guards. These are mostly humans. They go, "Halt! What do you want, speaker?"
I request audience with the chief of your tribe.
And why would he
have
bear business with
Important
you?
news. I am a champion. I have traveled far through many battles, and I bring important news of concern to both your tribe and all of Fair and the other 5 tribes. I request audience with your chief.
Name?
I am Ju Shayong.
Zhu Shayang. The gladiator of Fingsport.
Aha, you know me. I am champion.
I'm famous. Your name has been circulated before.
I kind of nudged Beauregard.
He goes, he rolls his eyes. In my time, I would be known. He goes,
My time now.
hold. He goes in, doesn't take him too long, comes back and goes, Chief Asker of Ivar will see you.
Thank you.
You meet a early 30s man, blonde hair, braided, blue eyes, definitely human, very large, very strong man. He goes, I am Asker of Ivar. Welcome to my home, Jew champion of Fang's Port. And we've heard champion of the Flame of some sort, Company of the Flame.
Yes. Yes, I'll spare you with my many titles, but I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
You were in this town before. Where are your allies?
They're elsewhere in the land of Alanis to...
Spero.
Or Spero.
Alanis could be coming.
Yes. Thank you.
It's been a while.
My advisor, for they are elsewhere in Spero, spreading the same news that I am. There is a war coming, a war of gods. And this war is going to be long and ugly. And it is our intent on trying to save these lands, save all of Spero from mass destruction. But in order to do so, we must unite. So I am here in Fair to unite the 6 tribes and prepare us for what is to come. I know there has been tension at times between tribes, but these are the times where that needs to be set aside, or else we could all perish.
Oh, you are saying you're going to rule all of our tribes in the city, even though you're not of our home?
No. Do not use the term rule. I am here to unite the tribes in a federation of unity to prepare for the coming war.
What does federation mean?
I'm bringing the armies together.
Oh.
To prepare for this war that none of us can fight solo. There's gods. Lots of them.
Okay.
I don't know how many, but definitely more than one.
You will...
that are looking to take over all of Spero. And there is evil already marching this way.
You are here to fight for our gods. Zeus, Apollo, Artemis, Athena.
Yes.
Are you lying? Roll me a deception check. You may roll at an advantage for some reason.
19.
Okay.
Or a 5.
19. He goes, as you went, yes, he goes, he looks a little confused for a second, but he goes, all right.
You named more than one, so it took me a second to...
I see.
But yes.
Well, I understand then. Well, you had an old friend here. I think we need to have you check on her as you make your plans.
By all means.
He looks at one of the men and goes, take him. And we will pan away for a moment. Alesky,
Checking notes.
you have now been walking from Flowerdale for a few days. What is going through Alesky's thoughts at this moment?
Well, the current plan is to meet up with Aurora, speak with Aurora, and ask for an atonement. At this point, we're wandering the land, so to speak, bereft of any patron, so no real power behind him, other than what there is of his own bloodline and makeup. And then, of course, there's the gifts that he's received from all the different people. The gift of Zariel, the gifts from the Queen of the Spring Court, apparently the gift from Mystic of the Mace of Torm that he still has that she didn't take away. So he has these gifts that are kind of supporting him from all these different avenues. And that's kind of where he has no power of his own, really. He just has these items that have been gifted to him. So he's moving forward as a healer in his mind, going back to his roots with Apollo and the healing of the temple, and the aspects of Apollo that are bringing the light of healing to the world.
Okay. You're definitely reflecting a lot. Things haven't changed a whole lot, but it takes a bit of travel going from things. You will get to at one point the great stairs of St. Augustine, so known as the stairs of 10,000 steps. Do you still wish to continue to fare, or do you wish to take a detour and go to St. Augustine?
Well, I was given information about where Aurora is, but was I given really specific information?
Yeah, you were told she was specifically in Fair.
Okay, then no, I would be traveling to Fair.
Okay.
I believe, or Alesky believes, that he would need to at least have the blessing of a high priest of Apollo before attempting to enter Olympus.
Okay. So you're going to travel a few more days into up north. I just need a constitution check from you.
Yeah. I was thinking if there's a caravan or something that I can offer as like a guard / medic, if I could get up with him, because Alesky is not really the survival type.
Okay.
I mean, he probably has as good a direction as Ju. Good a sense of direction. So.
All right. Nope, that's a good one. There would definitely be something moving up there for a little while. So you can hook onto a small caravan, probably about 3 wagons, Elven Guard, heading up to Fair to probably supply and then maybe move on to do some more work or elsewhere. But that will get you by without any test.
Yeah, he's got eating and drinking is now new to him again, so he's got to handle that. He does have the bag of tricks, so he can summon the creatures to help buoy his guarding and scouting aspect for the caravan. So
you're gonna scout for him a bit?
Well, no, not necessarily scout, but I mean he has the animal companions that can help him notice danger if any comes close.
Okay. On your second day of traveling with there is a disruption to the caravan as the lead guards and the lead wagon are sort of like slowing because there's music that you start hearing from in the back of the caravan. So music from the front that now is wafting across the caravan, but it is affecting the guards in the lead wagon.
Suddenly new music, or somebody has just been...
You're like moving into it. Yeah, someone seems to be there, or others might be there. Somebody is playing music, or others, and it is now what on the second day is what the caravan is encountering. It's not like erupting anywhere. You're sort of like hearing it. Like definitely somebody was there. Your caravan is encountering it.
Yeah, we're traveling towards the sound of music as opposed to somebody at the front of the caravan just started singing as the wagon is going.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is a known trail road. Good call. Let's see. Let's do a history check.
History. Let's see here. Yeah, that's one of my awesome no bonus skills. Great. Unless it was yesterday, I probably don't have a great clue.
Okay. It's
3.
It is it's definitely something with a violin. It is a little ominous, a little eerie, but it's nothing that you definitely recognize at any point.
And when you say history, it's not the music from the inn in Fengsport that befuddled my team and group and friends and myself. Not so much, but...
It is a violin. I mean, it could be.
Okay, well, having had an encounter like that before, I will gird my loins, steel my senses, and try to keep my wits about me. But where nobody is really signaling an alarm, I will just continue to do my duties and be wary, or not wary, but be on guard.
As several minutes of the caravan kind of moving, all of a sudden you realize that the lead wagon had stopped, and then now your wagon. It only took like another minute, and then your wagon stops, and like now, like the guards seem to be like clustering. A couple of them have moved up, so everyone's kind of moving up. And now the caravan is at a standstill. The only movement was people to get closer to the person or group playing the music, or the person wherever the violin is coming from, and that has held the caravan to a halt.
I've been on the road long enough to be aware that bandits operate in different ways, and if somebody set up a performance to kind of get the attention of the caravan, I will check our back trail and make sure nobody is coming up behind us or around us.
Yeah, check a perception check.
Yet another one of my excellent skills.
Well, there's the duties that others did.
Natural one, just like my dice have always
Hey,
done.
the coast is absolutely clear, so you don't know what's going on, but you don't see any.
Then I'll move up and check the performance.
All right. There is as you move up, the music is, like I said, it is enchanting. It is so haunting. Like, this is something that just is starting to tickle your senses of how you feel. Like, you're just wow, because it's relaxing you, it's comforting you, but in the same essence, it's making you feel regretful of things of your life. Like, you just can't help think about choices you've made that you might have wanted to choose differently. The music is kind of resonating into you there. There is on a rock, sort of well situated, a beautiful red gownish like tunic, armor. She's got a little bit of glistening armor. It appears to be crimson, but it is definitely a very glistening, rubyish type of specklish flakes going on. Very light purplish lavender skin, and enchantingly long green hair, but horns that stick from the side of her head, playing an ivory, beautifully ivory, but yet engraved in red runic abyssal runes of a violin, is a tiefling who has just enchanted your entire caravan.
What time of day is it?
It is like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, okay. And is her performance, now that I can see it, is it a performance?
Yes, you are arcane enough. You've been a warlock for forever and done a bunch of things. Plus, you did run into your old encounter there. That this definitely looks to be a bard of exquisite caliber who has enthralled the entire caravan, except you. Suspicions.
But I mean, is her placement artistic and like this is a bard performing on the side of the road, or is she like intentionally in the way?
Give me an insight check.
That I can do. Well, when the dice let me. 15.
You have a feeling that this bard, this young tiefling bard, was definitely set up to stop the caravan. So yes, in a way, it was not, hey, if you're cool and want to stop by and check, well placed, well positioned in the rock, and with the ability, you have a feeling that that was her intent all along, was to stop the caravan.
Okay. So I'll move forward because I seem to be the only one that has any kind of interest in talking. Is that right? I mean, everybody else seems kind of...
Yeah, they're just enthralled, loving the sound of how she's playing. A few people are crying because it definitely said they have regrets. They're feeling it.
Yeah, good thing Ju wasn't here. All right. I'll step forward. I will clap appreciably, not like a golf clap, but actually like a good performance. Thank you so very much for your performance. It was and is, dare I say, spellbinding. But my caravan has business and goods that could spoil if we tarry too long upon this road. With your leave, we will leave you to perform for the next caravan coming behind us. Not too far, I'm sure.
She does the flourish as you clap and say that as the music stops. You can easily see people starting to blink as the enthrallment is ending, as she has that, and she goes, "Oh, I don't want to stop the caravan, Daddy. I'm here to come and go along with you."
Well met. I was ill prepared for this. You have your mother's skin and eyes. I believe the hair may have come from me.
Thank you. She gets down from the rock. She's a very attractive young girl. Definitely, again, in the much advanced age as your other daughter. But you can definitely tell she is younger.
Okay, define younger.
You're getting maybe a year or two, off, and you don't know exactly why.
Dimensional shenanigans. Gotta love them.
She goes, "Hello, Daddy. I am Chalice. You may call me Hunger. That's what my friends call me."
Hunger. It seems very inappropriate for me to say I'm very pleased to meet you, but I truly am very pleased to meet you. And as I said to your sister, I'm sorry I haven't been there for you.
We understand, but don't worry. Desire has done all that was needed.
That's going to get me to look at my arms. I'm going to roll up my sleeves.
Yeah, they're all glowing.
Yeah. Is she safe?
Oh, yes, well, she's doing what she loves.
Surprised I hadn't noticed that before. I don't know what to say. I'm very sorry about that. I want to know. I want to share. I had a little bit of time with your sister before we parted ways for her to take up the cause.
No worries, Father. I'm here to help with your tales. I'm here to transition you to the things that are to come.
I'm sure there's much to learn about what you just said and much to hear. We are on the road. The caravan has several more days before it reaches its destination. Would you be traveling with me?
I will be.
I will look at the leader of the caravan or the caravan master.
Oh, yeah, he nods. They're all happy. They're like, yeah, well, the entertainment of that, bravo, yes.
Sir, it is a very strange tale to tell at some time, but the short answer is, she's my daughter.
Oh, even amazing coincidence. What a find.
Again, the tale is long, and I'm sure it will be told at some point, but right at the moment I'm too surprised to have found her here on the trail ahead of us.
Wow.
It will take time.
We'll bring her in. So, Hunger is happy. She gets helped up into the caravan, waits for you to be escorted on as well, and then the caravan will pick up and begin moving towards Fair. As that caravan are shifting back, Ju, you are given a little time to stay, but in the light of the morning, you are brought to a very outside of town, to the eastern part of the town, to what appears to be a rough shot stacking of relatively large stones, no more than 20 feet around. And there is a woman in a yellow, apparently cloak that's kind of over her head. She is sitting cross-legged, like in the center. And this basically what apparently is just a weird little stone circle thing that you have no idea what was supposed to stand for. There's no other markings of anything else going on, just what this woman is. And the guy goes, the guard from the elk tribe just goes, here she is. I don't know if you remember.
No, I'm asking the guard. Who is it?
Oh, that's I don't know. Inger said you wanted to see probably the priestess of Apollo.
Okay. Yeah.
She head pulls up. The cloak falls back. There's brilliant red hair, very well neatly tied and stuff. She turns. She apparently has been crying for a while.
You seem upset, my lady.
Of course I am upset. Ju, Shoang. I do not recognize the man next to you, though. A member of the tribe here?
No, this is Beauregard. He is from that's a long story. He's not from here.
You may remember that there was a priestess of Apollo that came from Flowerdale.
Yes.
I'll let you do a history check to see if Ju remembers.
Jews, I remember.
I can see that.
13.
You remember her name was Aurora. She was from Flowerdale. She set up a temple with you guys for a bit before you guys headed east and were attacked by frost giants.
Yes. It's coming back to me now. I recognize the name. I remember the temple.
Yeah, you didn't have much interaction with her as being the typical barbarian guard guy, but this is where you're at.
I'm just double checking my deep in my brain. Aurora, you how have you been? It has been some time. Don't know how
Hold on a second. I believe the realm is in danger. I am having difficulty finding my connection again. I think something has happened to my god, Apollo.
Yeah, about that. You're not wrong about something bad. Silk has transitioned into this realm. Hermes is dead, and there might be a war of gods brewing.
Wait a minute,
So
wait a minute.
forward,
You know Hermes is dead.
yes,
How do you know this?
you might have witnessed it.
You witnessed the death of one of our gods.
Yes.
Alright. Why are you here then?
I'm here to unite the 6 tribes of the north to prepare for this coming war and to try to prevent the people of Spero from being wiped out.
So the gods are coming here to destroy this town in its...
I don't know if the gods are specifically coming to fair. There is an evil army approaching to start. Don't have the exact coordinates where the gods might show up and get into play, but yeah, I'm on phase 1, trying to just unite the tribes and bring everybody together to prepare for this. Because if we stay fractured, as has been the history, this town will be overrun by evil.
So your other friends are grabbing the other city militia to meet at a certain place in the world to battle? The Lich? Is that what you're fighting? We're fighting?
Kind of what I'm preparing for. Again, I'm trying to look at this in phases. So that's what I'm preparing for. My friends, yes, are doing similar things in other parts of Spero. Some of them may be apologizing, doing that stuff, but listen, there's a lot of bad stuff coming. So if you can be any help in helping unite these tribes, that would be fantastic. Because I really don't want to have to do it the hard way.
I have a lot of influence, Drew, but I'm having a hard time understanding where you are with this, with the old gods and I guess the new gods, because you said you witnessed Hermes dying, but you're here.
I mean, I didn't kill him. I didn't have any part in it.
I'm having a hard time seeing everything myself. I have been, without Apollo's power, I'm cut off from a lot of what I can do.
Yeah, I don't do the whole religious thing, so I can't really help you on that front. And I, honestly, I'm kind of mixed when it comes to the gods of the old and the gods of the new. I'm just trying to protect them. I'm a man of the people, not a man of the gods.
But you're wearing demonic armor.
Huh?
Your ruins on that armor are abyssal.
What does that mean?
Usually means something.
I was given this from on a quest. Took out a person. And I was gifted this armor from someone by the name of Zerial or something like that. No, this armor has protected me. It's been.
Wait a minute.
It's got me at this point.
You have Zerial's armor on you.
I mean, I don't know if it's their personal armor. I mean, they kind of. Why?
I'm gonna need. We need to have a reflection of things first. Let us go back to town. I need you to take a moment back first. And then we can see what we can do for you and your friends and this realm.
Okay.
The guard leads you back now with Aurora. For the next couple of days, they kind of like hole you up in one of the tavern rooms. You're fed. They keep telling you they're meeting. They're trying to figure out what's going on in the sort. When
Beauregard, need someone to help us out because I'm really bad at explaining this part of the stuff.
I'm not sure what she's talking about. Cut off from gods. I mean, well, that happens a lot, I guess. Well, no, I don't know much about that. Yeah, I don't know. Gods usually are fickle anyways. I don't believe much in them anyways. I make my own way. As you chit-chat, day 3, though, there is talk of a caravan that has come up with an exquisite bard. Some people have heard about it on their way up, and apparently people are pretty excited about hearing and being entertained by such a gifted musician.
Yeah. Bad history of musicians there, Beauregard. I don't know. You need to go check this caravan out or not. And they have anything to do with you, guard. This caravan. Are they part of the tribes? Are they outsiders?
They're coming up from St. Augustine.
South. That's good. If it's coming from the north, that would be bad.
They will have some supplies for us.
Supplies are good.
And a few of their people may be scouts heading out to see where the army of the Lich King is.
Alright. Come on, Beauregard. Let's go. I'll start acting fights. Whack me over
Okay.
the head. If there's music playing. Just add
Since
something.
you're bored, you're like, might as well. You and Beauregard will head out. You go to the southern part, and then there's definitely a caravan moving upon you. As it approaches, Alesky, you will see Beauregard and Ju kind of like surveying the caravan as it is coming into town.
It looks like it.
Alesky is not hidden, so you will instantly recognize your friend sitting with apparently that bard, who is a tiefling.
Hey! Alesky! Where? It's Ju! Hey! Alesky, Beauregard. You got backup.
Well, good. Somebody can talk for you then.
Yeah, no shit. We'll run down and meet him.
Hello, Brother Ju. How have you been?
Well, they treat me great here. Not doing so great rounding up the tribes and their hopes. You came at a perfect time. I ran into Aurora, who I think you know, and she just started hitting me with all these questions. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to answer them a lot better than I can.
I was hoping to encounter Aurora. I missed her at Flowerdale and had to walk here from there. And on the road, I met another of my daughters.
Well met. I am Hunger.
Sorry. Of course you are. Yeah, come on, Horace. I'll take you to, how many kids you got, dude? I'll take you to Aurora.
Okay.
The answer's probably 4.
Probably 4.
It is.
4 that I'm aware of.
Didn't expect this out of you. Okay. Let's, come on, this way. I know where she's at.
As you're going, you get back in the town, you get to the square. There's about 30 warriors. 12 from the elk, 10 from the bear, and about 8 from the raven. Kind of like meeting you in the square.
More of the shots.
And they're like, Ju Xiong, we want you to remain there where you stand.
And you are?
I am Sigmund, of the Raven clan. I come to speak for the chiefs.
Chiefs.
They would like you to remain where you are.
What say the chiefs if you speak for them?
I take it you will remain in place?
I'll entertain you for now.
Well, entertain me more. I wish for you to remove your sword from your hip and cast it to your left, as you and your barbarian friend Beauregard.
You don't know me very well, sir.
The wishes of the
You
chief.
want this sword, you're gonna have to come and take it. I don't think you want to go that route. Might I ask why the change of...
All 30 men unsheath their weapons. So there's a collective shing, shing, shing. Beauregard goes, think you've united them. But not for you, but against us. It's gonna be bloodier than I thought.
Well, Beauregard, if it takes this to unite them, so be it. Is Chief Ivar around, or is it just this
No,
Sigmund guy?
these just to be 30 very well-stocked men.
Okay, Sigmund. There might be a slight misunderstanding going on. You might want to summon Miss Aurora. We were...
As you say that, Aurora does step a little bit, presenting herself from the back.
Ah, there she is.
They are doing this because of my request, Ju. You could be a danger, and I want to make sure.
Alesky? Alesky.
Ah,
It's your turn. Before this gets ugly, you might want to step up. Unless you want me to get ugly. They're not going to like me when I get ugly.
No. I'm sure you're not going to like them when they get ugly either. Fair day, Aurora. It is pleasant to see you again. I come before you in person, requesting, not in the means by which you asked me never to contact you again. I come to seek your counsel and guidance. And this is my brother in the white flame, Ju Xiong.
I know of your past and history. I also know many of your choices. I can see now where some of it has been laid in question, as your brother in arms presents himself as something of a possible danger to this very town?
I am trying to unite the tribes to save you from the evil armies that are approaching.
Ju, you wear armor from a lord of the nine hells. You are encased in protection from Zerial, by your own admission.
Yes, he does, and so do I. And there is a reason.
We will hear the reason here.
When we came to you before, you had heard the tale of our travels at that time. We had many contacts with the courts of the Fae, and several of our group had taken upon mantles of title in those courts. You're aware of this, correct?
Yes.
Other beings saw the representation of those courts in the coming conflict and sought to have their own representation in the conflict as well. Unlike the Queen of the Fae of the different courts, there was less request and more just selection. The beings that live in the dimensions beyond our reality saw the invasion coming before many others did, and so have tied their interests to how the Company of the White Flame represents the conflict as it occurs. No pact was made. These are, in fact, gifts, though they occurred more in the forceful giving as opposed to a selection or acceptance.
So you're saying each of you are bound by Zerial in a very deceptive way.
I don't believe it's a binding. I believe it was a choice of Ju and I to be their representatives in this conflict, counter or aligned with the representatives of the Fae Queens.
So your friends still remain with the Faes. You two have chosen to be with Zerial, or you have not chosen to be with her?
Not sure.
Ju, need a wisdom saving throw.
There was not so much choice, though mine occurred when I was befuddled by drink.
I see.
Ju's occurred through vanity, which was a curse he was under at the time that he was approached.
Silk sins.
The sins.
What did you roll, Ju?
6.
As at that moment, your eyes go black, and from the helm you hear, "One soul may oppose, but the other soul does embrace Zerial's gifts." The men all take a step back, like there's an ominous edge of fear, and Aurora kind of blinks and she goes, "Who the hell was that?" Ju, you're back to yourself.
Did I hear that?
No.
Out of character, I'm not sure that we ever really discussed this.
No. Before pregame, me and Rico were talking about this, going like there was issues, and no one really got into this a whole lot.
There appears to be a tie to silk and this armor. An echo of the past resides within or within the enchantment of the armor.
If you are not bound to this cereal, I would ask Ju that you remove the armor. We could give you something comparable. Prove that you are not bound to her. Remove the abyssal armor.
Seems like a trap. First you want me to toss my sword, now you're asking me to take my armor.
You may not be a man of faith, but this is what you're asking for. I am the faith. I have been a loyal disciple to the sun god. And there's already been betrayal that you've already talked about. And these men and women of this town want to be sure. If you want to unite them in any means possible, removal of the armor should be such a simple request and task of you.
I have your word. If I remove my armor, you will help me unite these tribes?
I will do anything in my power to see that you will remain the hero and champion of the realm that I do know that lies in your heart, Ju. But I question how many of those hearts you have at this moment in your soul.
I've been backstabbed more than once, and I'm a little paranoid. Forgive me. But if everybody could put their swords away, I'll take my armor.
She looks at each of the men and women. They will reluctantly resheath their weapons. But they look like they're ready to pull them back out pretty quick.
That's fine. Alright. What do you think, Beauregard?
You want to unite them, you can either do it by blood or these damn words.
Never been good at words.
I'm much better with fear myself. If you want bloodshed, let's do it. Starting with that fucking whore.
I never heard of it. Do you trust them?
Nope.
Said Alexa. No,
No. I'd like to speak my mind because you keep talking to me.
Alright.
I trust Aurora, and I trust them
Hunger.
to know a warrior when I see them and respect a warrior.
Hunger goes, such a precipitous balance on the wire. Should you go to the wrong side, the fate of fair will be forever removed in Spero.
Not anybody's side. Alright. I will attempt to start to remove my armor.
As you reach up and go up with the clasp, it just... You can't make your fingers move any more than that. You can just get it to touch the top, but you won't do any more. I will give you an insight to... Just roll an insight. I'm going to give you advantage because you're definitely feeling something.
18.
You now are starting to feel maybe what Aurora's talking about. You feel something is wrong. Like now, when she said a couple of things, you kind of blacked out. Remember that little moment when the voice went off? You didn't hear anything, but it definitely is now like a skip of memory. Like you kind of blinked too long. You're starting to get that feeling that there is something wrong with you.
I'll kind of lean over to her, Alesky. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna have an issue here. I can't.
What kind of issue?
I can't take this thing off. Like I'm physically trying to take this off, and I can't take it off. Like not, like I don't know how. Like. So.
As he says that, his eyes go black again as he looks at you, and he goes, "And if you try to touch this armor, I will gut you like a fish, pretty boy." And his eyes go back to normal.
So, how do you want to play this? I really don't want to have to fight. I mean, I could back off and let you do the talking.
I'll step forward. I will put a hand on his shoulder as I'm stepping forward.
Okay. Give me a
And
wisdom
I'll look
saving
at
throw before you speak.
Say that again?
Alesky needs to do a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
It's a 9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything that might have given me... Oh, wait a second. I will use my inspiration.
Okay. You may use that.
For a reroll. Been holding on to that for like a year now. So 17.
Okay. As you decide to touch him and hold him back or hold him in place and that stuff, the dark connection between your runes and the runes of the armor show you a darkness. You feel like you can kind of sense the shadowy being that is like half the soul of Ju and the soul of itself. And that touch is enough for you to know that it's an ancient dark soul that apparently has been evil enough that it warrants its own demonic ranking amongst how it exists and existing to the armor.
Do I get any of those effects from him touching me?
No.
Okay.
I was told when given my armor that Zariel had a vested interest in our safety and that I would not be able to remove my armor. It appears Ju's armor is similarly enchanted. And the presence riding the armor has its own preference to have it remain worn.
So it is as I am fearful. You are entrapped. You are binded to Zariel and her cause, regardless of your own true inner intentions. You must both realize that the dangers that brings to good-faring people.
Right now, it's the same danger that it brings to all the people of this world. I don't believe Zariel wants to see the current balance of power disrupted and lose her power to these new gods. My Uncle Hades opened a door intending to utilize and steal the power of another god from outside our realm, but in opening the door, he allowed an invasion to occur.
And you are that certain that is Zariel's desire, is to stay absolute to remain out of this conflict so that there would be balance after this God War?
Balance? I don't know if it's balance, but the power she wields now is because of what my great-grandfather Zeus and his children, my grandfather and great-uncles, allow her to have.
That is not true. The nine hells are not bound to the old gods. The nine hells are their own fury, their own energy, their own darkness.
Their touch and contact with this world is bound by the rules of our gods and pantheon. If those gods are supplanted, the rules change.
True. If you know the intentions of the new gods, if they are all gods of light and have no wish to see devils or demons about, then
they're not all gods of light. Silk was a god of evil necromancy and death in the world in which she held sway before.
And you all released her?
We released her because she was bound to my Uncle Hades' plans, and if she had remained imprisoned as she was, her essence would have been absorbed, and Hades' power would have been far greater than he has ever known, and a threat to even Zeus.
So, Hades tried to tip the scales using Silk's power, a goddess he found from another realm. You were able to find where he hid all the power to contain her and utilize her, freeing her in the process to remove her from him. This was apparently a consequence of the situation.
Correct. And when I spoke with my grandfather Apollo, he assured me that should Zeus not want her to be in the realm after she was freed, he would remove her.
I think something has happened to Apollo, Alesky. I am powerless at the moment.
And the war has begun.
I cannot fathom that. What do you mean you are powerless?
Every day I was able to pray to Apollo. And every day a temple in his image was made to the eastern part of Fair. I protected these lands, I healed the people, and I prepared. 2 days ago, I lost contact with him, and I have not heard or felt him since.
When Silk was freed from the prison she was in, when we collected the keys that held the locks closed, she appeared before us with several of her cohort, claiming she would not leave the land. Hermes came as he felt the change, and before us, Silk's ally, the Raven Queen, appeared to kill him. They said he was dead, killed by another god or goddess in this case. I don't know that I really believed that. Maybe he just was driven away. It looked like he was killed. I don't have belief in this new god's power, but she claims to be a goddess of death. And she claims to be able to return people from the dead in this land. When I asked for proof, she didn't give it. She only returned people from the land known as Alanis, a world that Silk had domain over in another realm, another dimension, another plane. I don't know the right word. But with the door open, others followed Silk, and an invasion has begun. If my grandfather is fighting already, perhaps he just is too busy to hear the prayers or to respond to them.
No.
I lost touch with him when I had to take up a mantle to free Silk. I made a bargain. But after freeing her, the bargain was complete. I've come back to you to regain my grace.
I wish I could give it to you, but I don't have it. And I'm trying to understand exactly where all this lies then, if you are in ties with the devil Zariel, if there are elements of the Fae Court, and then we're talking about gods.
The one thing I will say so far is Zariel has asked me to do nothing, nor demanded me to do anything.
Same.
Hunger giggles. Insight check, Ju, since you looked at her. No.
You stopped me off guard.
Okay, yeah. Girls. Those children of Alesky.
That's for sure.
Well, the ways of devil are always cryptic in their
As
dealings.
are the ways of Fae Queens.
Yes, both of these are not favorable. Remaining with Apollo would have been more sure. So you have no connection with your magic to anything. Who is your patron?
I have no magic other than some small abilities I've developed on my own. My hands remain the hands of Apollo's healing. I can still help.
This other
10
voice in Ju, when Ju speaks, who is that then?
What?
Do I know to put a name to it?
If you do, I think you do. Yeah, I think it's been noted. You don't know much more than that, though. His history has definitely not been looked up by this group.
It wasn't given to us in the brain download.
You know what? You're right. You do have the brain download, so you can now put 2 and 2 together for that.
What other voice? What are you talking about?
Ju, in our travels, has been, well, cursed several times.
How wrong?
We defeated his first curse by slaying the lycanthrope captain of Darksun and his followers, removing that curse from Ju. As I said, there's a presence that has followed him for some time now, going by the literal name of Curse. A soul from Alanis that came here as part of the ties that bind Silk to Hades. We don't know the reason that he has joined with the armor. And he was not part of the locks that bound Silk. But the other things that have come are ancient, what were called relic weapons of the land from where Silk reigned.
This Alanis, is this that darkness that is permeating over the Garden of Gaia?
I didn't study it enough to know for sure, but that darkness has roots burrowing into our world from a place called the Shadowfell. And that is one of the places where the Raven Queen holds power.
So the invasion is definitely more real than we thought, of a more darker nature. Which would make sense.
Absolutely.
If they
The
went
king
after
of that city is a vampire lord that was present in the realm of Alanis.
So it sounds like this goddess Silk is putting a lot of her history, people and things, from her realm now into Spero.
Her history was used to bind her into Hades' prison. And he used ties to important personages of her realm to hold the sins which were the locks. We managed to convince some of them to help us and give up their sins. Some we had to defeat and take the sins. But through our efforts, all 7 sins were collected, the locks were broken, and the sins released.
So, the stone bearers, the relic, these silk stone bearers, you only killed a handful.
Correct.
So where are the others? The Vampire King is one. What about the others?
There's a Vampire King, he is one. He remains king of the land. And king of the Garden of Gaia. There is a beholder on an island out in the ocean. He is cowardly and will remain in his lair with his kobold servants. There is Silk's daughter, Mystic. She is the one who I made a pact with for a short time. She gave up her stone in my promise to continue to assist trying to free her mother. When we freed her, our arrangement was over and I returned her power.
Okay. So a goddess's daughter, assuming another goddess or now a titan, is in the realm.
Very powerful. She makes a home in the Shadowfell in her tower. I don't believe she has designs to conquer any of the lands here, but I don't know for sure.
But these are beings that are being released into the realm against the old god's regime, Alesky. We need to
Again,
determine...
because my uncle Hades used them to bind her to his prison.
I understand.
He brought them in.
Right, but these are effects that are now already in play.
Correct.
So there are 3 beings that remain from the stones. I thought there were, and the rest were killed.
We killed the assassin. We killed the fire witch.
You did defeat the fire witch, but Zindred resurrected her, or raised her back up from the dead. You only killed the Black Knight and the Great Drake. So 5 others all remain alive.
Okay, yeah, so...
You tell her those things?
Yeah.
This Kiziata, also a daughter of Silk?
I believe so.
So she has two daughters, a beholder, a vampire king, that are all amongst her. Are these extra disciples along with the Raven Queen?
I don't know if disciple is the word. In the world they came from, they didn't necessarily act in her name from the history we were given.
But if they
But
gave
they
up their
embodied
powers
her
now,
sin.
yeah, they gave up their powers willingly to you now. Is that correct?
Like give her the powers because we defeated them. It wasn't necessarily willing. Took it by force.
The beholder was a coward, and he didn't want to die. So he elected to give it up as opposed to have us bring the fight to him. Kiziata was defeated and it was taken from her. She was brought back to life through the power of the Raven Queen, who has established some following in the first house of the Drow in the city in the Underdark. Silk has also established following in the matron mother of the first house of the Drow in the city of the Underdark, as well as at least one of her daughters.
She has influence with the first Drow house. Dark Elves.
Yeah. They have turned from Loth, which I am joyous about. They did not pick a deity of light to follow. Silk claims to be a deity of magic. And the Raven Queen claims to be a deity over the dead. The rest of the houses, or at least a majority of the rest of the ruling houses of the city, are aligning against the first house, but they are powerful enough to have held them off for now. There's a vast amount of knowledge and context, and it is far too great to stand here in the street and discuss it.
A lot has happened.
Apparently.
But Ju is not a threat to the people around him, and has come here because these are his people, and he wished to unite them against Dark Sun and his undead horde that is coming down from the far north. To stand in their way and hold back the hordes, saving the kingdoms that stand in his wake, or stand in his stead.
God, I'm glad you're here. You said that so much better than I could.
You are correct. This debate of words and information in the streets is not beneficial, at least with the potential of conflict. But I cannot have him in front of the other tribes' leaders. Despite what you say, you definitely are all influenced by a darker hand. And if I was more fearful of just this Zerial, apparently these goddesses I do not know have even more so. I need time to see if I can gather some type of power to at least figure out what is happening to the two of you before we allow anything going forward. Would you allow me this?
There is very much to talk about. But whether Ju and Beauregard are uniting factors or not, the fact still remains everybody needs to unite.
She looks at Sigmund and goes, "House them. We'll discuss things as I get things more figured out. Of course, priestess. This way, gentlemen." And he leads you guys to a house nearby out of the plaza here. So the four of you will be placed within there.
Well, avoided some bloodshed for today.
You will be given 4 guards are outside of your door as well.
Just 4.
I know, insulting.
Very insulting.
Excuse me, guard. Could you get more just to stand around so Ju feels better?
All right. Now there are 10 guards that are in charge of watching you.
You do know he's a champion of the gladiatorial pits, right? I mean,
Oh, I'm chatting them up and telling them all about my... If they're willing to listen. All about my...
They're putting you inside the building. They're on the outside. So there's
Oh.
10 kind of near the door. But when you peek out the window, there's probably about 10 pockets of a dozen, like near the stalls and stuff that are ready to come in a notice. So they could probably put about 30 men, 30 to 40 guys in a heartbeat at the door.
That is the attention I deserve. Well...
Hunger goes, "So what are you going to do, Dad?"
what do you mean, what am I going to do?
I think he did the best thing he could. That speech is probably as good as we can get for uniting these tribes without having to use force. Which isn't going to be any good, because if we have to use force, we're going to lose numbers. And we need numbers. I really don't have to go down that path.
I could help enchant them all for you.
No, thank you, dear. Right now, our best bet is to not use magic. These are barbarians and warriors who don't put that much stock in the arcane. Anything they don't understand, they may react poorly against.
It's true.
Okay.
And we still have to learn about each other and catch up before we formulate any plans with your involvement.
What would you like to know?
Who's your mother, child?
I cannot name her. It's also that's similar to the whole thing with Northmen and magic. Knowing my type of mother's name is sort of detrimental to her in the prime material plane.
You know how your name holds power when you speak it out and everybody oohs and ahs?
Me? Of course.
Yeah, you. Yeah. So, if somebody were to walk around and start saying bad things about you, other people would recognize your name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, on the devil side of things, knowing the name of a devil gives you some power over what happens to them.
You slept with a
So
devil?
they don't give.
Jeez.
Hunger goes 3. Yes,
Here's the good part.
Desire's my half sister.
Huh. Sounds like someone made more of a deal with the devil than I did. I just got some armor. I didn't get no kids out of it. They should be more worried about you than me.
I think they were.
Well, I don't know. They wanted me to drop my sword and my armor, so they're focused on me. Of course, I'm a champion.
You are
Deserve
well
that.
known. throughout the multiverse, Jew.
Multiverse.
Yes.
Beauregard, you hear that?
They speak of you in the 9 hells now.
Ah, 9 different realms.
Oh, more
How
than
many
9.
realms are you on, Beauregard?
Just the one.
Just
But
the
I'll be
one.
known here.
Oh, yes. Of course. 10.
How was he known in 9 realms, waif? She goes, well, he fought in the pits of Frog and Slate. All of that is broadcasted to many realms. So it is not just 9 realms. You're known in all the realms of the elemental realms. You're known in the realms of the 9 hells. You're known in the heavens. You're also known in other locations that are similar to this place, the Shadowfell, the Dread realms.
What's it mean to broadcast?
Oh, he has this wonderful magic crystals, orb things, projectors that have connected throughout the realms. The power of genies. That's what you were all doing the time you were there.
In these other realms on my magic?
They were.
No, Jew, they do not owe you any money for you winning them money.
I'm just making sure. I want to get my fair compensation. I mean,
Well, they know of you now, so your reputation allows you a status. Which I have parts of that Zariel told me that should you want more of it, you just but to ask.
more of what?
Status.
Knowledge of
That's a no, Jew.
But it can be a yes, Jew.
But it's a no, Jew. Hunger.
Yes, Father.
We just had this discussion with 30 other individuals.
Well, this was more a personal thing for him, Father. I didn't want him to be without his compensation.
He has had much compensation over the past few months.
But Jew is a man who strives for great legacy, status, and rank. And Zariel chose wisely in choosing him and wishes to make sure that he reaches his absolutely full potential.
I'll get there. Knowing that I am known throughout the many realms is enough for tonight.
True. What you probably need now is a great, magnificent beast to ride into battle. Ones of great, heroic legends always speak of their steed as something that is a symbol of their conquest, something that shows that they are obviously someone who's mastered a great monstrosity that others would fear to even look upon, but yet you can ride in battle.
Realms?
Huh?
What do they call me in these other realms? How do they know me? By
You are the Curse Champion. You are the Great Slayer. But other titles come when you actually possess the rank. I was trained to know many great tales and how to spin
Yes,
them.
Hunger, your tale telling is obviously very skilled, and you have a fundamental understanding of the stories of these old warriors that are told after they're dead.
Yes. Sarah wanted to make sure that you had information this time. You know, Desire had her ability to protect you with her sword, but your children should be more of, she holds her hands out, an embellishment of your great things you've done in the realm. You are indeed an angel of men, so thus
I've done nothing.
we should be
There's
the legacy
no tale to tell of me.
that that you have left behind, Father.
You've been with me and by my side with the rest of the warriors of the White Flame and all the conquering and battles that we fought. You've done plenty of it. Don't sell yourself short now. Apparently knocked up 3 devils. I mean, that's something.
Do you know what you are, Hunger?
What?
If your great-grandfather has passed, then you are one of the few sparks of his power left in this realm. You are the light. You are a legacy of light that guides this realm into justice, into healing.
I will be a flame of Apollo as I light men's hearts, a last bastion of things to come. You are a great teller of titles, Father.
Do you understand that divine spark?
Yes.
That candle that can light the justice in people's hearts, bring them hope, fend off the darkness. Not only here, but you could carry that light back into the hells and show others the divinity and hope.
Oh, I cannot wait to show others. That is what I was passionate about as I learned to tell the tales, and I knew this instrument. And she again pulls out this beautifully ivory enchanted violin with nicely carved, embellished abyssal runes similar to your armors, but they light just a little bit enough with fire. Yes, the fire. She strings a couple of strings of cord, lighting up and down on the thing, can just be as grandfather is, Apollo, and I will captivate the audience with tales of heroic efforts, and fire, and passion, and love, just like my father. You muted?
How would you like to be the teller of my tale?
I'm here. Now that you two are together, I think Zerial would love me to help tell part of your tale, especially if you were to lead her armies.
Every good hero needs some genius.
No, Jew. No.
What?
You weren't listening. No.
Beauregard goes, wait a minute. That lass can help bring him an army while sitting here in a fucking building and we're having a chance to get an army already? What the hell are we wasting time for then, Jew?
No. This realm will be won by the men of this realm and the women of this realm.
You don't need all the men. If the men are here, me and him. Lass, what bloody army? Zerial's army. Each of those two can have an army that would wipe everything that would be a danger of your choice.
No, Hunger.
It's true, Father. It's what Zerial told me.
Stop. As I told Aurora, I am not bound by anybody.
Of course not.
Taking on an army in Zerial's name brings me closer to being bound. I will not do it. So I will listen to my friend and turn down the offer.
But you would be the hero of the army leading them. All great generals must serve some ruler at some point in history.
That's what we're working on here in Fairs, uniting the tribes. and be the great general of these tribes.
Beauregard,
Hold on.
in your time in Alanis, if Silk had come to you and offered you an army, would you have taken it?
She was part of my army. Her and the Drake, when we ravished the land. It wasn't until those fucking old hero champions got in the way. But if I still had them all, if I had more, I wouldn't have been snuck up on by that snake Styx. I remember in my dark time about that.
Now you got them all riled up.
No, I did not get them all riled up.
I got them riled up. I like riling up everybody so they are more passionate and they feel what's in their heart. Too much thinking is so clouded and judgmental, but all I talk about is passion.
How about you take that passion talk and maybe go round up some beers for us while we sit in this...
I am a bard, not a tavern wench.
Not you go get it. Make the guards outside go get it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Show me what you got.
Okay. She will go and talk to occupy the guards out there.
How many other kids do you have? 4? Where are the other kids, Alexi? Where's Desire? She's not here, right? Or is she here?
She went to... Where did she go?
To the Garden of Gaia.
Yeah, she went to the conflict.
Okay.
So I suspect my other 2 children will be along shortly.
Can't wait to meet them. So how long do we give for them to try to come together peacefully?
They'll have to see the threat before they come together. Just like what happened with the White Flame. Nobody believed me that there was a threat until you saw Silk and the Raven Queen kill Hermes.
Did we do the right thing?
What's this we question?
Did our group do the right thing?
No. We did the right thing by freeing Silk. Because if we had not, she would have been absorbed and her power would have boosted Hades to the point where he would be unstoppable. That was the right thing.
Okay.
Beyond that, opening the door farther and allowing the gods in and giving them support and faith, no. But such is the choice of man or woman. We can only choose what each of us believes.
So what is your understanding of the fate of the people of Spero? Does it lie in backing the old gods? Or does it lie in backing the new gods? Or does it lie in not taking the side and challenging all gods?
Bring it to a smaller level.
Okay.
If you were the leader of a village and you had your 5 captains who helped you protect and lead the village, make the rules and the laws, enforce the rules and the laws, and enforce your justice. And one day, you open the gate, and a new person was there. They said, I'm here to rule this village. I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to choose me as their leader. What would you do?
Huh. I see the dilemma. It's kind of what we did here at Fair. Not that I asked them to be the leader. They did come in demanding that we unite the tribes.
So in the greater world of Spero, Zeus and his children and their friends, who have maintained their rule for centuries, thousands of years here, a door was opened and somebody came through the door and said, I would like people here to choose me. And then she said, oh, by the way, I have other friends with me, and I want your people to choose them too.
I see.
Some of our friends chose them. But that means that they're effectively invading our home.
I see.
Do you stand aside and let them invade and let others fight for you? Maybe.
Never side with. I never stand aside when there's an invasion. You should know that.
But your choice is, as you put it, do you join the new and try to get them in power to rule? Do you stand with the old and try to keep them in power and kick out the new? Or do you stand aside and let others choose what's going to happen?
Where does Zerial play in this?
I think she wants to maintain what she has. And the new gods coming in change what she has. She might lose power if the new gods decide she isn't what they want. And the new gods gain enough power to have influence and control.
I understand.
So Firebrand, when he broke away from the queen, gave power to the new gods and goddesses. HK, when he believed he was given a family that he could never have, gave power to the new gods and goddesses. Every choice to believe that they can do something gives them more power to do it.
Did I give the new gods power by accepting the Titan's mantle?
Some, because by accepting that mantle, you've given them belief that that mantle is yours. If you think of it as a group of people voting, and everybody has one stone to put in their bucket or our bucket, you gave them your stone by accepting what they gave you. It's a very simple equation explanation, because obviously we have more stones between us to give.
A old Norse man comes in with hunger, with tankers of ale, bread, and some fruit. He's kind of someone else shuffling. It's an older guy who's helping now do a lot of this. Didn't think I would see Ju Shang of the great fighting pits of the Frog and Slate, held in a simple house.
What's your name, old man?
I am, Logad.
Rogal.
Yes. We
What
all...
are they saying about me in the taverns? My
Well,
presence obviously is known now.
the great champion here is formidable, but we hear that you... It is this business with the devils that sends people unnerved. It's dark magic, you know, boy. It's not easy for people to accept when you are enchanted the way you're enchanted.
I will have you know that I was a champion in the gladiatorial ranks well before I was gifted this honor.
Oh, no, it is known what you've done in the past. It is why dark power seek great men like you. It is not easy for them to defeat you. It is more easy for them to mislead you. That is how great dark powers work, boy. It is in many of the stories. Hungry goes, I haven't heard those stories. You're looking for a new way and new path, aren't you?
What do you know?
I can see it in your face, boy. Lots of things of politics about. It's not use for young men such as yourself to always have to work through when you're more at ease in the combat of fights. It's better to see a battlefield for men like you, knowing where to go and who to strike down, but these games of the heart and the mind to decide who will serve who and send allegiance to another are often difficult for young men like you.
I only choose to save the people of Spero,
Wow,
whether it's here in Fair or in other lands.
yes, you're a champion. At least I've known that. So, I wonder how much you're willing to do so. Unfortunately, you are bound by this, again, these dark powers that have
I
misled
am
you.
not bound by anybody.
Take the armor off,
Watch
then.
your tongue.
Take the armor
Who
off,
sent
boy.
you in here?
I was here to bring you ale. Do you wish to have wisdom, or do you wish to be arrogant? I can help you.
Trying to trick me. Did
No.
Aurora send you in here asking
Oh no,
to
she
remove
has...
my armor so you can take it?
She has no idea I'm here, but I could help her. She is misled, but she must see a new door if you wish to save the people of Fair.
A new door that you've already walked through, following in the footsteps of a goddess or two that didn't belong in this land before.
Isn't by her choice. As you stated out in the courtyard, when one is pulled into such things, one must learn to adapt and survive, as you two young men are trying to do with your friends. Adapt and survive.
So you can't have been in this land long enough to really have adapted.
Ah, you've been
But you seem to
around-
wear the clothing well.
You've been around long enough. You can learn to adapt very easily when many things have similarities. But I wasn't here for me. I'm here for you. And him, as he points to Ju.
Hunger.
Yes?
Where did you find this colorful man?
I didn't. The guards brought him when I asked when Ju asked me to tell her to get ale.
Mm-hmm. And what does your theatrical sense tell you about him?
He knows more than he's leading on.
Ben, check your Facebook. You seem to be a messenger, old man. I get it. I understand my presence in town may be seen as a threat. So take this message back to Aurora and hope that she can unite these clans through diplomacy. For I wish not to shed blood amongst the people of Spero. So our time is wasted.
Got a little problem there, young man? That armor is very nasty. Very dark. You may be throwing away your one true hope with your pride and arrogance, the two of you.
You need to leave. Take your message back to your chief that an army of undead approaches. If you wish to have my help in defeating them, the tribes need to unite.
You have much to learn in the conflict of what you're facing. Because if this aspect does happen, I warn you, Ju, you will become more of what you fear. This conflict is not what you really seek if you wish to stay whole. He scoops up the empty pitchers and leaves. Hunger goes. Just can't stand people who just preach away without any clue what they're talking about. Beauregard looks at her confused.
I don't think he was a messenger from Aurora and the people of this town.
Who was he?
I suspect he was peddling influence for the new gods.
He's one of the new gods?
I understand even the need to remove the armor, especially to these people. But I also suspect the new gods would fear its removal. Or, excuse me, would fear Ju in the armor.
Everybody.
Its removal would be one less connection to elements of this realm.
So why does Aurora want me to remove the armor? She must know
Because
this.
of the gift from the devils.
Yet she listens to you.
She didn't listen to me as much as my words didn't contradict her and they made sense. I didn't influence her, but I didn't give her a reason to fear us either.
She seemed pretty scared of the news that you gave her.
If she no longer hears Apollo's voice on the wind, I can understand her fear. I had his ear when he was no longer there as a guiding hand. I felt lost. And as a priest, that connection would have been even more solid.
Well, do you want me to find out what happened to him?
Can you?
Yes. But I have to leave.
Find out.
Okay. She pulls out a
How?
scroll, says an enchantment, a disc opens up to a very scary looking world. Skulls, red tapestry, hot. She steps through. Stays open for 20
If
seconds.
Apollo's
Closes.
in a battle, then the war has already begun. And we need to move faster with whatever we're going to do. We need to find the others. I also
We
don't
need
want
to.
out of it.
We need to get to Olympus too, or I need to get to Olympus.
Will they let you into Olympus in our current condition?
My answer to that is, it's my family. But I don't know if that means the same thing to them as it does to me.
Can you take your armor off?
Why would I take my armor off?
Alesky, I want you to roll a history check, and I'll give it to you at advantage.
Six.
That's with advantage? Oh, shit.
Wow. Okay,
That's a few dice right there.
I mean, I will give you this. Your statement makes a bold claim to it, like the way you said they're still your family. But there's just something in your mind that just seems like there might be more to that. And that's the only thing you can possibly recall at the moment. Too much has happened at this stage.
I have an idea for you, but I'm not sure I understand the Northmen very well.
Okay.
There are stories of leadership changes in the tribes through ritual combat. For them to follow a warrior into battle, they have to believe in the warrior's strength, right?
Yep.
Do you have any ability to claim a challenge?
Not a champion of the realm. I think my ability to challenge speaks for itself.
On an individual basis. But are you recognized in the tribes enough as a tribesman to make a claim of leadership?
That, I don't know. My tribe as far as I know, has been decimated and spread. I was never a part of these 6 tribes within this land. But there is a chance that members of the Chulu tribe, being nomadic as we were, integrated within the other tribes. But I wasn't necessarily a chief at the time, just a warrior in battle. I'm always up for a challenge.
Well, I know that. But a series of challenges could lead to leadership, at least in a battle master sense. But again, they need to see the threat to know they need to unite. Ego is something that prevents people from collaborating until they see that they're will be overwhelmed in a solo aspect.
I understand.
But asking my daughter to do things only deepens the ties to Zerial that we are trying to avoid. Next time, don't ask her.
We need to know what's happening with the old gods. It also gets her out of the area.
Yes, but now they're going to come looking for her, and she's not going to be here.
That's not going to be an issue in a minute. I mean, if you're worried about Zerial, what you're asking me to do might not help our cause in the long run.
I'm not asking you to do anything. That's the only idea I can think of. I don't know your people well enough to know how to unite them.
You know them well enough that that is the quickest and easiest way of sort of easiest way of uniting them. Diplomacy is not the best route when it comes to barbarians and tribes. My fear is, well, this armor is beginning to be my fear. There's more to it than I was expecting. So, I will say this. Be cautious if you need to be around me. I will understand.
I have no fear of you. I don't feel we need to be cautious in that regards.
Maybe not just
but
you,
if we can reunite a connection with Aurora and Apollo, his hand could remove your armor.
Well, let's hope that's the case. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna go outside.
Okay. Guards all looking at you like, yeah.
Escort me to the middle of town, please.
All right. So they do.
Signal.
Yes.
I'd like to challenge the 7 chiefs, 6 chiefs of the 6 tribes for leadership.
You're challenging right of combat for leadership, one by one.
No. All 6 at the same time.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Not my best one. 9.
That
9?
was bad ballsy right there.
Your eyes go black. He goes, I want true leadership. I want you to understand no man in this city can hold me down and challenge true rule. 6 chiefs, 2 champions each. I will fight all of you in combat to the death for this city. As you come out, he goes, Ju, your claim is bold. I can't believe you're going for this. I guess Aurora was right about you. So be it.
You leave
I
me
will
no
make-
choice.
I understand it, man. I'll let the chiefs know. Return to the household, and we will see what this battle of the chiefs and his champions, all at the same time, will do for the champion of Fangsport. And he walks away while the other guards will escort you back. And there is, in your ears, you hear the whisper of, he's gonna take on 3 men from each of the clans, the tribes. Wow, this is the champion of Fangsport. I can't believe it. And you're brought back. You're brought back in. You're sat. The old man comes back with some more ale. You'll be needing to drink up. Quite the order of tasks that you've just claimed.
Be straight with me, old man.
He's about to leave.
I grab him.
Yes?
Who do you answer to? It's not someone from this town.
Answer to myself.
And who are you?
I can be many
Why?
things. That is who I am. Not sure what he's doing. I missed it myself.
I let him go.
Farewell, boy. You walk a bloody path.
I really don't like you calling me boy. Elbow regard. You're about to see why I'm known throughout the realms.
Give them hell.
Oh, I'll give them hell. Pun intended.
All right. I'm gonna need to
Just
set.
remember, mercy builds greatness.
I'm gonna need to set this up. So we're gonna call this chapter to an end. I will need to. We'll try to figure out another time frame. We can't mention it right here because this one was difficult, but we'll pull another one together for sure. But yeah, I think we're where we thought we might be with this group. So yeah,
It's gonna get bloody.
very bloody indeed. So excellent. Yeah, great job, guys. And again, Until next time.
Yeah, everybody.